Greetings and salutations, Earthlings. Zube here, and I'm going to do a collective reading. If it's your first time here, I'm in a different setting because foot surgery. And anyway, I'm doing great though. It was for my bunion, which is the lamest name ever. But now it was last Wednesday I had it done. And now my foot is itchy, which is probably a good sign because that means it's healing. So today during meditation, I got a snail. No, it was a snail at first, but it's actually a hermit crab because my sister had hermit crabs growing up. And actually, we had some for my kids when they were younger, like a long time ago. And we didn't get to the point though where any of them changed shells, but my sister did. She had a lot of them. And there was something about, we would always try to catch them changing shells, but they're very secretive about it because while they are changing, they're super vulnerable. So it's really hard to catch the hermit crabs changing to a different shell. And there's something about that. Like maybe we are outgrowing our shell. And in order to move or shift to a new shell, there could be a period of vulnerability that's coming up. That's what I got from it. Anyway, if you are interested in a personal reading, astrology, or tarot, my information is down below. This reading is going to be general. Take what resonates, leave the rest. All of my readings are timeless. If this one doesn't resonate, then feel free to look for some of my others. Yeah. And the lighting is screwed up. I can't help it. You know, I'm doing my best. That's all we can do, right? Let me move this. There we go. Seven of Wands. That's where we are right now. That's our internal energy. The Seven of Wands, we are holding space. I always point out with the Seven of Wands that the figure is not attacking anyone. He's just, you know, keeping a boundary, right? So we could be feeling like standing up for ourselves or just creating some space around ourselves, holding our ground, not wanting to back down, but there's no need to go out and attack anyone. We don't want to lose ground, okay? On the external, we have the King of Cups. And that's how I feel like that is how we are presenting externally. We might be, the King of Cups is emotional, but he is the master of his emotions. So he's not overly emotional, but he's in touch with his emotions. So this is not being hysterical, but the King of Cups will cry. So there is something about what maybe we are wrapping our heads around our emotions. Maybe we're really like looking at our emotions in a studious kind of way. Maybe we're coming to an understanding about how we feel about things, about our feelings, handling our emotions in a mature fashion. And that's sort of, I call it external. That's kind of the energy that we are putting out or that's in front of us to do. So the next card is, excuse me, in the God spot. What does God see happening? Interesting. Wow. We got two major arcana, the Chariot and the Hierophant. The Chariot is it's a card of success, okay? And this is what we're seeing up in the God, universe, divine spot, or like the higher perspective on a situation. And I love how, there's the black sphinx and the white sphinx. So the Chariot card represents kind of harnessing chaos or opposing energies or bringing things together. It's a card of going through things very quickly, having to focus. It requires focus. We want to minimize distractions, which goes along quite well with this. It's kind of making me feel like we may think we are doing small things. Things might feel tedious, but they're not, okay? That we're actually getting bigger things than we might even realize accomplished. The Hierophant, here we are seeking wisdom outside of ourselves. So maybe we are speaking to someone in, like a mentor, speaking to a therapist, reading a book, visiting something external so that we can process what we have going on internal. The Hierophant is the God card. And the God card is where we kind of look outside of ourselves for meaning or purpose, or, the Hierophant is also like kind of following the proper routes and procedures to do things. So we're moving forward quickly. We're harnessing opposing energies. I almost get the feeling that maybe we have all of our 3D life, our job, our money, our family, and all of that. And we're managing all of that chaos. At the same time, we could be experiencing something profoundly spiritual, or a deepened connection, or a deepening sense of purpose, or an understanding of maybe all of the external things. Maybe we're making sense of it, but at the moment we're in the throes of it. So it might feel like we're dealing with just bullshit, but there is a bigger lesson going on. Do one of these. I'm thinking of the hermit crab story. And when the hermit crab is looking for a new shell, it's like scurrying around, really busy. Got to find a new shell because I'm growing out of the one that I'm in. And the biggest concern for the hermit crab is finding that shell, which might require a lot of work, a lot of focus, so that it doesn't outgrow the old one before it finds the new one. And that might feel tedious, but it's really a big deal. It's grown. We got flexible. So remain flexible. Be willing to shift. Go with the flow. That's the Chariot card. Like, we are heading towards success. Don't let this, whatever little things are coming at to bite your ankles, don't allow yourself to be taken down by something that is beneath you. I'm almost kind of getting like temperance card vibes from that. Like, don't sweat the small stuff. Exchanging gifts. That's really cool. Maybe others are helping us along our journey. We have number 27 for exchanging gifts and 19 for flexible. But with exchanging gifts, maybe the hermit crab is running into other hermit crabs. And they're like, oh yeah, I saw the perfect shell over there. Hmm. Or maybe there's another hermit crab that's growing into an even bigger shell. And it's like, hey, I'm about to leave my shell. That's got to happen, right? You can have mine. You can have my old one. I just changed. I'll keep cover for you while you're switching. I'm also kind of getting from exchanging gifts. Maybe we have gifts that we don't quite feel comfortable sharing, but it's time to, whether that's spiritual gifts or just the gift of ourself, like things about us that would feel really vulnerable to share. And that's part of our growth and part of our purpose, but being authentic, like the more and more authentic you become, it requires vulnerability to do that. And because we can get criticized, it's scary to be authentic about some things because it's exposure. Like if you really share something fucking real and somebody criticizes it, that's scary. But when it happens, you almost kind of, it's like failure. Like when you fail at something, then you sort of get that over with, and then you don't have that fear anymore, the fear of failure, at least in that particular area. I have kind of learned in my life, like when I've failed, which I've done enough, um, it doesn't necessarily translate to every experience of failure, but that one in particular, it does. And then it gives me a little more bravery to potentially fail in other areas, or we could succeed. But it's the fear of failure that can prevent us from doing the thing, the being authentic, being our real selves, being open, um, giving it a go, whatever it is that we're contemplating. We got connection. These cards are silly. We got penguins here. I'm connected to the multitudes and I can access their support at any time. Even a stranger offers a sense of comfort when they smile at me or make a dumb comment about the weather. Everyone is waiting to connect. All I need to do is open myself up and pay attention. Note to self, work on witty banter about weather related stuff. So, God, I love that. Exchanging gifts. We're exchanging gifts. We're being vulnerable. We're supposed to be vulnerable. We're changing shells. We're moving into a larger, more grown version of who we are. We're evolving. We're growing, and everybody has to do that at one point or another. So there's a sense of interconnectedness. Like if we share that we feel vulnerable with another person, everybody can relate to that experience. We have number one, gorilla. Peace. This is a really calm reading. Um, be flexible. I'm getting I'm getting something here about not being alarmist, being very observing, not overreacting, being measured in our responses. Sometimes like even just putting a 5, if you can catch a reaction before it comes out and put like 2 seconds before you allow it to come out, you can shift it. You can start changing your response time to anything. And if you make it a habit to 1, 2, to just wait. I want to get advice. 3 cards for advice moving forward. Page of Swords. The Page of Swords, coming out as advice is like, be curious, want to learn, read, find out information, learn new things, be pure in your intentions and your thoughts. It's like, think innocently like a child, be trusting, be truthful with your words, but not hurtful. Sometimes the Page of Swords can mean being like petty and all that, but that's coming out for advice. So this is like, think like a child. Exercise a little naivety and never, you don't want to be naive all the time, but this is like naive in the highest sense. The Knight of Swords. Look, we have growth here. Just keep moving along. We're really growing in a mental sense. The Knight of Swords coming, I love it, coming out for an advice card. That's be clear, be focused, think about and go for what it is that you wish with that Page of Swords. What is it that you really want? And this is speak your mind, go after it. The Knight of Swords moves pretty quickly, so you want to be flexible. But if something feels right, if you are really feeling drawn or inspired to do or say something or learn about something or move in some kind of way, do it, and don't hesitate. Don't waste time. And the Knight of Cups. That's unconditional love. Be unconditionally loving. That's really cool. Like, think like a child. Speak your mind, speak your truth. Coming out for advice. This is like, we don't want to be an asshole about it. This guy can be an asshole sometimes with his words, but we don't have to be like that. But definitely, if you have something on your mind, speak it in a pure way. And the Knight of Cups, like, speak it with love. Be unconditionally loving. Be unconditionally loving. That just made my ear pop. All right, let me see what this is about. What is this about? Seven of Swords. Okay. That's funny. So we have 7-7 here. The internal card that came out with 7 of Wands, that's standing up for ourselves, holding our ground. The 7 of Swords is sneaky shit. What is this about? Maybe we're worried. Maybe we're like, what's going on behind my back? And who knows? We can't know. We can't worry about that. Just trust and have faith. Stay in your integrity. Don't get distracted. You got to focus. You got to focus. You got to move forward. There's a lot of quick movement here. If you stop and you're like, who said that? Or who's talking shit? You're going to be thrown completely out, like pulled out of your flow. It's a time to continue and proceed in your flow, not worry about what it is that other people are doing or saying, and not saying to be hurtful towards other people, but as long as we're not harming others, proceeding to move in the direction and not allow ourselves to be distracted. Two of Cups and Three of Pentacles. So we are looking at relationships. That's love relationships, could be family. This is unconditionally loving relationships. And then we have the Three of Pentacles. The Three of Pentacles, that's earth energy. There we're talking about like relationships that work and co-creating with like within more of a group. And that's coming out for what is this about. So I think that we are looking at this in the context of relationships. Okay. So I want to bring it back to the hermit crab. We are growing into a new shell. And we do have the north and south nodes. The north node is in Aries and the south node is in Libra right now. So relationships are highlighted. The next new moon is a solar eclipse on the 14th. If you happen to be watching this around October 3rd, which is today, but again, this is timeless. So if it resonates, that's fine. But relationships are in focus now and for the next probably 16 months, I think. But we as individuals, because the north node is in Aries, we're like growing individually, and that can really affect us in partnerships. Be vulnerable about that growth. Like explain to your partner what's going on. Explain to your friends what you have going on. Explain to your family what you have going on, how you're growing. In as much as you feel called to share, because with this Seven of Swords, this might be kind of saying like, don't that can be you being sneaky, right? And in some cases, I suggest that, not necessarily being sneaky about negative things, but like if you're growing in some kind of way and you don't quite have your head around it yet, sometimes it's not ready for like criticism or other people staring at it. You know, you want to keep it to yourself for a while, and that's completely fair. But where like it might be helpful if the hermit crab went to their hermit crab significant other and said, hey, I'm growing out of my old shell, I'm kind of stressed out about it, I got to go find a new shell. Maybe they can get love and support. Anyway, this is a really calm reading, so I hope you guys are feeling that. Anyway, thank you for stopping by. I really appreciate you all. I hope you have a great day on earth and have a happy new shell experience. Peace. Namaste. I'm out of it. I'm not on any opioids. Just so you know, it's only ibuprofen for this sober chick. Peace.